It is the Martha Zoller Show, and of course, yesterday we know now that there's enough delegates for both President Trump and President Biden to face off against each other. Robert Kennedy made the rounds on all the news networks, all of them. I mean, he was everywhere last night because there's a window that's opening up for the qualifying for ballots around the country. He says he is going to be on ballots around the country. There's some talk about him being the Libertarian candidate, and there could be, a couple of other fringy candidates on there. It appears from polling that for more people get in the race, the better it is for Donald Trump. So we shall see. Ron Hart is here with me today. Ron, how are you?
Doing well.
So
last night in Atlanta, real quick, I met last night in Atlanta a girl named Courtney Kramer, who's going to run against Fonnie Willis as a Republican, 35-year-old Emory law grad, very sharp, good Republican. So she'll give it a try. FYI, you may want to have her on at some point. She's terrific.
No,
So,
I actually heard her last night on a radio show. I was driving home from something, and maybe it had been recorded or whatever, but she brought up really important stuff about the backlog, 4,000 rape kits backlog, 14,000 felonies that have not been indicted yet, and these people are on the streets, that you've got a DA that cares more about one case that involves people that don't even live in Fulton County rather than the cases that are actually impacting people that live in Fulton County.
Yeah, it's an uphill battle. Fulton County is 70% Republican, some number like that.
Democrat. They're 70% Democrat. Yeah.
Democrat. There's enough people fed up with it. You never know. It could be it's a long shot, obviously, but every now and then, like New York City will elect a tough Republican mayor every now and then, and California will too. It gets crazy. Steve Garvey maybe has a chance out there, but I don't know what it takes for her to get elected. But she's sharp, and at least there's worthy opposition. She'll get the nomination. She's the only Republican on the ballot. She'll be right up against Fonnie. On the other side, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, Fonnie has got opposition. She's got a primary. There's a guy that's more progressive than she is running against her. I know that the Democratic folks are rallying around her, but she's going to get beat up pretty good in her Democratic primary, so that could help going forward.
Yeah, and I'd be really curious with Fonnie. She goes from almost zero net worth on $150,000 a year salary at the D's office to an $8 million net worth reportedly. $8 million, which she bragged about how smart she was in business. We saw her on the stand. She is not. I mean, how do you get an $8 million net worth without a checking account? I mean, something very fishy about that. I hope somebody has the ability to look into it. If there's any journalists left in this world, somebody really needs to look into that.
So your thoughts on, what we've got going right now? It looks like we have Trump and Biden. Looks like Robert Kennedy will get on, he could be like Ross Perot, get 15, 18%. You've got Cornel West and you got Jill Stein, which there's 2 or 3% that are going to vote that far left. So what are your thoughts?
I think Kennedy hurts Trump more than he does Biden. I think the Democrats are lemmings. They do what they told. This is very much party discipline about the things they do and say, and they stick together. So I think he hurts. He's more libertarian against the vaccine, which is mostly a Republican, freedom type of agenda. He's traditional in many ways. His plaintiff stuff was actually good stuff. He cleaned up the East River, Hudson River in D.C. He sued the right people for the right things. It's verbose. I've heard him speak several times. Been with him. Tucker had him speak at the Daily Caller event about 2 months ago, and he goes on. I mean, he likes to talk. He's very smart, and it'll be interesting. I think my personal gut is he pulls more from Trump, but he may pull these moderates that that just tired of Biden but want to kind of brandish their liberal bona fides, right? They may say, okay, I voted for Kennedy because I'm cool, and he's not going to win. I won't have to defend him. He's a cool Kennedy. So
did you buy any?
What polling are you seeing that says that?
It says that over time he's taking more from Biden than he is from Trump. He was originally taking more from Trump. And it's just, I look at Real Clear Politics average, looking at that. So but who knows? It's a daily snapshot. But I was wondering, did you look at, oh gosh, I forgot what I was going to say. That's terrible. But anyway, I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Robert Kennedy because, 15, 18%, depending on where it comes from, could be devastating for one of those two candidates.
Yeah, he's a conundrum. He's not left. He's not right. He's anti-government, a little bit paranoid about the government. His dad was probably killed by CIA operatives. I mean, he's seen it all, and maybe John JFK. They don't give him Secret Service protection just as a threat. I don't know. They got the Democrat Party, who said everybody else is a threat to democracy, runs him out of the Democrat process, doesn't give him a debate stage place. They don't give him Secret Service protection. I mean, if you break the party rank over there, they go after you. I mean, they take the full force of everything they have on the Democrat side to go after you personally when you disrupt the hierarchy. Now, as a result, you got octogenarians who are basically senile running the government in levels that are just unprecedented. Biden's just not competent. Yet he sits atop this heap of mess, which is this deep state bureaucracy. Which I wonder if Biden's even running the place. I think it's the deep state. I think it's these permanent agencies, these that are running the world right now, and they're using their brute force to go after enemies.
So in 2019, our budget was 4.4. We spent 4.4 trillion. That was BC, before COVID. Then, because of COVID, our budget went up to about $7 trillion over the next few years, where we were putting on $2 trillion a year deficits and adding to the debt at $2 trillion a year. So let's just assume that 2019 was the right number. And you've had 20% inflation since 2019. So that would bring you up to about 5.3 trillion. Okay. The president and that would actually be a balanced budget. 5.3 trillion. I think the projected revenues are at about 5.1 trillion, but you could work with that. Biden has, talking about agencies, Biden has projected $7.3 trillion. That's every single dollar we spent on COVID. And he wants to start a new agency on gender. He wants to start a new agency on this, that, and the other thing. They know they're not going to get it because they don't have the votes to get it. But it's a laundry list to his progressive, people that want him to do something for everything.
Yeah, he's a puppet for the left. He doesn't have cognitive skills to be his own person. He reads the words in the teleprompter, and he does a good job. They give him ice cream. He's just like a child. And that speech the other night, they all got fired up at that speech, State of the Union. I found it to be very angry and weird. I mean, I think it's yelling at people like, it's like it was a laundry list of just goodies he's going to give away. Forgive student loan debt. Well, you can't do that. It's a terrible moral example. Forgive student loan debt. Why don't you make education cheaper and better? I mean, there's a lot. He doesn't have the solutions people want. Hope people will vote on policy, not personality, and Trump will win. And clean house up there is the only shot we have to clean house. Trump, hold your nose and vote for him. That's what I'm going to do. But he's the only hope. He's been there once. He kind of knows. He's got a lay of the land. I think he can go up there and do some things that will be good for the American people.
Ron Hart, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it very much.